Whether that's every member of the Highway Patrol, whether it's every member of the National Guard, I will call them all out to stop the violence in this state.
Missouri's governor announces new steps to end violence after a former police officer is murdered by looters in St. Louis. Governor Mike Parson says it's time to distinguish peaceful protesters calling for change after the death of George Floyd in Minnesota and those out to commit crimes. This comes as Kansas City prepares for a fifth night of protests with a crowd gathering at the Country Club Plaza. Mayor Quentin Lucas and Chief Rick Smith are about to announce new steps to protect protesters and police. We're going to bring you that just as soon as it begins. Now, many of those involved in the protests say this isn't just about George Floyd. It's about the racism and fear that is part of their daily lives and their children's lives. KCTV5's Leslie Aguilar has been listening to what some of those people have to say, and she joins us live at the J.C. Nichols Fountain now. Leslie?
Brad, right now this protest remains peaceful, and a lot of healthy discussions have come out of these peaceful protests, particularly about racism in our country against black men. I asked many in our community today, when was the first time they remember experiencing racism?
Oh, wow, I was a kid.
Probably when I was about 7 years old.
I think my earliest time experiencing it, though, was and the funny part about it was it wasn't even a Caucasian person, it was Hispanic.
Everyone remembers their first encounter with racism vividly. For Wayne Evans, it was from his own baseball team in rural Missouri.
We was on the same team when they chased me home with machetes and stuff, you know what I'm saying, trying to do something to me.
For Corey McDonald, it was his elementary school resource officer.
We used to see Officer Friendly come in to the school and give us magnets and cards, and then that same Officer Friendly used to pick up my friends when I was a kid and take them down the bottoms and beat them with phone books. That's truth.
But the examples of it aren't all from childhood. They're happening now, like earlier this year when Jeremy Carter and his wife switched seats in their car during a long road trip and were followed, then pulled over.
He said, "You switch spots, it just looks suspicious. I'm gonna check and see what's going on." He sat there for about, I want to say, an hour, basically holding up our time just to find the littlest kind of thing just to get me in trouble.
Reginald Davis says he was a part of the Black Panther movement in Iowa 30 years ago and says things aren't much different now.
I seen brutality. I seen individuals of the black, they said killed was the excuse that they had a gun, or roughed up and beat up back there, just like this gentleman that perished with the knee on his throat. So it's been going on in this country for a long time.
Protests against racism have happened in this country many times before, and they'll continue as long as black men are not treated the same as the rest of us.
Some people just have certain upbringings and they don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what would change things, actually knowing that, you know, we all are like, we all bleed red.
First of all, we got to come together as a unity, you know, as peoples. You know what I'm saying? Sit down and talk about the situation and see if we can't come to a legitimate end.
I don't think it's just a black and white thing. It's a human thing. And we got a problem in this country that's called the criminal justice system. And that criminal justice system allows these things to continue to happen. So the best way to make change is to speak up against it. Go to the voting polls, make your voice heard, do your research.